I'm with Kitchener Waterloo Real Estate Group with Remax Twin City.
Hi, I'm Penny McCarroll with Kitchener Waterloo Real Estate Group with Remax Twin City. And
today we are live chatting about home staging. I think this is our third live chat as a team, and we're going to talk about the benefits of home staging. And I don't know about you, Penny, but when we got into the business 15, 16 years ago...
We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was no home staging. Like, seriously, nobody talked about home staging ever. It wasn't something that I offered as part of my marketing. And I remember when we started to talk about it, I got a lot of pushback. Like, do you remember?
Absolutely. And like I said, it wasn't part of our marketing portfolio that we had. The most we would see is we'd go to model homes where they would have it there and for this huge subdivision. And then we'd get clients that would come back and they would be oohing and ahhing. And it's like, okay, what can we do? And then all of a sudden, this whole idea of home staging came through.
Kind of started to take off.
Mm-hmm.
And like you, I have my home staging designation, but you still go to outside home stagers. And you even have interior design background.
Yeah.
So why are you still going out? Well, what do you see the benefits of going outside for a professional home staging?
Right.
company?
And look, when you're dealing with clients, you get very personal with them. And over time, I think it's good to bring in a third party, and then that's what they specialize in. When you're doing interior designing, you're working with your clients specifically, their likes, their dislikes, how their lifestyle is and how they live it. And it becomes very personalized. When you bring in a home stager, they're bringing in their own marketing tenures, they're marketing your home, they're putting it on display. They want it to appeal to a larger audience as opposed to just the family. So they're going to be looking at it with a totally different eye than what I would be doing when I did interior designing. And another reason for bringing a home stager in that I always like to say is because when they tell you to get rid of things, you can get mad at them, not me.
I agree.
Did that tell?
Yeah, I agree. I'd rather them come to me and them being the seller come to me and saying, that home stager, can you believe she wants me to do this and that? And I prefer it to be the home stager. And I totally agree with you. When I'm working with sellers, I know the seller. So I kind of pander to their comfort level. Whereas an outside home stager will just come in and they'll be straight down to business and want to get your home ready without taking any personalized information about the seller.
Mm-hmm. Maybe what we can talk about, Tammy, a little bit is how it is that we use home stagers and what it is to expect when they come into the home. I know that you and we both use external home stagers and that it's part of our own marketing package that we have. But maybe what you can do is just touch base a little bit on what it is that they do when they come into the home.
That's a very good question, because when I've dealt with sellers, a lot of sellers think that home stagers come in and put in all this furniture, they change out light fixtures, they're putting up photos or artwork, whereas the very basic home staging that I generally use is a straightforward consultation. And it starts with a home stager coming through your home and going through room by room and giving you a list of things that they think you need to do. And sometimes that includes painting. Sometimes it includes changing a faucet in a bathroom. Just really to take away as many negatives from your home that a buyer may see when they're walking through your home. But what I do really stress is that it's a wish list. So you don't have to do everything on that list that your home stager asks you to do. You just do whatever you're comfortable doing.
Right. And I myself, I believe you the same. I don't attend that session.
No.
That's strictly for the stager to sit down with you and to go through the home. And typically, on an average size home, they take about 2 hours. And they will either leave the notes with you at that time, or what they'll do is they'll do up an email and send it to you such that you've got it for reference points when you're going to work on your home. But like you said, if you can just do the basics, but it goes beyond that too as well. If you do need accessories, and that really what makes a home as far as staging, they have accessories, they have furniture, they have prints and artwork that if you choose to, you can deal with them directly as to renting it for a period of time to help help it, even if just to have it there such that when the home is being photographed, that would be ideal. And then we can just, leave it there as long as necessary.
I agree. And that list that they send to you, I use that kind of as my timing now. So the home stager comes in, they give a whole list of what needs to be done, and then that gives me a chance of pre-booking my photographs, my virtual tour, because from that list we get an idea of how long it's going to take the seller to get their home ready for market generally.
Good point, because we've talked about that before sometimes, and it happens. We'll have a seller who wants to get in touch with us and they'd like to know if we can have their home on the market within 2 or 3 days. And it's like, well...
Especially in this market.
Yeah, especially in this market. And we might not do as many things in this kind of environment in this market as we would at other times. But you have to understand that for us to get our home stagers in, they're usually booked at least a week in advance. So that's 1 week. And then it might take a week or more for you to do the things that they're suggesting to you once they've done the assessment when they come in. So now you're 2 to 3 weeks. And we also need to book our photographer, and I'll always do a tentative booking for the photographer, and that takes a week. So it takes time, and the more time you have, so if you're thinking of listing your home when the school gets back in, call us now.
So,
Tammy,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
One of my big questions, though, to back it up a bit, I get asked, why home stagers? Like, why not just put that sign on the front lawn? This is how I live in my home. Like, I love my home. Right. Why wouldn't somebody else want to buy my home? Because I absolutely adore my home.
And the best answer for that is, well, we want to sell it to somebody else other than you. And this home is specifically done to your taste. And I understand that you like that bright fuchsia color that's in the backsplash of your kitchen or something. But again, it's not basic enough that's going to be appeal to everybody. And that's what we want to do, is we want to set the stage so anybody, the majority of people that are going to come through the home are going to go, okay, I understand this, I can see myself living here. Because if you get it too personalized, including photos and diplomas, people concentrate on that and they feel like they're intruding on your home when they're coming through, versus having it staged and they're being able to just forget about everything, come in and really look at the home as something that they themselves would like to live in.
So I try and explain as well, is it helps me as their realtor to sell their home much faster, and very often if it's faster it's for more money. So having your home staged will put purpose to a room. I find home stagers will come into your home, and lots of people have a dining room that they're using as a playroom for the children.
Lego.
Yeah, the Lego room.
Lego room.
Yeah, get that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Or there'll be a family room that's being used as an art room. What a home stager will do is come in and put purpose to a room. So if you think you're going through a brand new home that's a model home and they're gorgeous, but every room has a purpose. Also, every room has furniture that's pretty much scaled to the room, so it makes the rooms look as big as possible.
Absolutely.
So that's another thing that a home stager will do. They'll try and declutter, take out furniture that's not necessary, or ask you to remove the furniture that's not necessary. And what they'll also do is place the furniture so that the photographs, when we get our photographers in and virtual tour company, the rooms look as big as possible and each room has a purpose.
Correct, exactly.
And I find it invaluable to have that home staging to get ready for photos.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. And one of the other main points, Tam, a couple of them that we haven't touched on, is that we've heard that saying, you never get a second chance to make that first impression. And the biggest point to having a home staged is your return on investment, ROI. I would say on average that if you spend X amount of dollars, you should get back at least 2 to 4 times that in the value of your home when you sell it. So is it worth it? Yes. Some people say, well, how do I know it was worth it? Because I might have gotten that anyway. We won't know that. We just know that this is another tool in our marketing tool bag that we like to use, and it also helps our client understand where we're coming from and what it is we want to do to best put your home forward to the market.
And let's not forget outside.
Oh, yeah.
Staging.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah. A lot of people think of staging as home staging as inside your home. But home staging is also outside of your home. That's the first impression that people get of your home. So while we're doing all of this home staging inside, we can't forget to do that nice landscaping, get those beds mulched.
Paint the front door.
Yes, that's always good. Clean the windows.
Yeah.
Just little tips on getting your home ready outside as well as inside. And talking of first impressions, getting those photos perfect through staging, because the photos on the internet are going to be the first point. Right.
And Tammy and I know that we both, once we get the listing, we don't put that listing on as active until we have the photos.
Photos, virtual tour,
and that. So that's, we have an order of doing things. But anyway, is there anything more that we can just go on? Or are there any questions? And we forgot to say that.
I haven't seen a question yet, but I did have a question, and actually you've kind of already touched on that. When should we be talking to a realtor about getting our home ready?
The sooner the better.
Yeah. And that's another good point about a good home stager, is they have resources. So the home stager, I think we pretty much use the same home stager, and that home stager will have a painter, will have a plumber, will have a handyman, just everything that you need to get your home spick and span, take away all those little negatives out of your home as a buyer's walking through it.
Yeah, and you have to remember a lot of times is that if you take care of these things, no one's going to know that you did that. But if you don't take care of those things, everybody will know that look at what they didn't do.
Yes.
And that is the perfect ending to the whole idea of why we should have a stager, is to be able to bring the home to a wider audience, that they're comfortable in seeing it, they can see themselves living in it. They're going to get more money, more bang for the buck, right? When they sell it.
Yeah. And buyers, when they see homes that have very little negative things, they think that the seller is conscientious, and they feel much more at ease that home has been well maintained. And talking on that, it's always a good idea as part of your home staging is to just make sure your furnace and air conditioner have been checked.
Oh, absolutely.
Just those little things that make a buyer feel really comfortable when purchasing a home, and will make the sale even quicker.
Just forgive us, we have some notes here that we made, and so just trying to think, we pretty much touched on everything. One thing we haven't emphasized maybe is lighting. Did we talk about that?
No, I think we're going to talk about some tips. So let's take turns and some tips for home staging.
Lighting. I know that fluorescent lighting is perfect for saving money in some of the LEDs. Get rid of the fluorescent lights.
I agree.
If at all, you can do your LEDs. Now, when LEDs first came out, they were the whitest white that you could get, and it was almost irritating. But they've now come out with softer whites and that. So I would strongly suggest change out your lighting, get the incandescent back in there, get the LEDs with a warmer tone. Please get rid of the LEDs and the fluorescents. Get rid of the fluorescents, especially in the kitchen. That has got to be the one worst area to light, is using fluorescent. Remember the floor ceilings?
Yeah. And I know that Jim and Troy touched on those, I think they're energy saving light bulbs, where they start really dim, and then by the time you leave the room, then they're bright.
Yeah. They take time to warm up, and those are the fluorescent ones that do that. Yeah. So
that's why they're not good.
No. And can we just talk really quickly about, we've staged the home, we've done this, now we're ready to show it. Okay. I always tell my clients, leave every light on in the house on. Leave every light on.
Yeah.
And usually the first day or so, I won't instruct the realtors to turn the lights off, because we'll have usually multiple showings. But if you can leave the light on, even if it's a bright sunny day, it just helps put that extra sparkle in the room that's needed.
Okay, my tip is cleaning.
Yeah.
When you think you've cleaned enough, clean again.
Go back, yeah.
Yeah, your windows, in your window.
The blinds.
The blinds.
Oh, and the tracks.
The window tracks is what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Light switches.
Yes.
Make sure your light switches are clean. It's really surprising how dirty they can
Or
be.
replace, because a lot of times I'll walk in, I'll see it's cracked. I mean, it's not a lot, it doesn't big deal, but again, anything like that just adds to the experience when somebody's going through a home. If I see a home that the seller has not taken care of it, what else have they not done that I can't see?
Quite.
And I think that's very important.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I don't know.
Isn't that a marvelous backsplash?
I love that
Yes,
backsplash.
yeah. This was supposed to be a home that we were featuring, but what happened? It sold.
Yes, new
Canvas
listing,
new
totally
listing.
staged,
Totally
beautifully,
staged.
and which is why we're having the live chat here today. But it's already sold, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, what's the topic next week?
Next week, the topic I think they're talking is about benefits first-time home buyers going from renting to buying a home. And there's a lot to talk about that. And if you're there now and you're going to join us next week, I don't know who's going to be doing it. One of us from the Kitchener-Waterloo Real Estate Group will be sitting down, two of us, possibly Tammy again. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to send them in to us in advance, because that's something we can write down and that we can address when we're sitting here. We've got notes that we can look at and answer those questions to you as well.
So I hope we've answered a few questions about home staging and why we do it and why you should do it.
And if you still have questions, email us, let us know, and we'll do our best to address them right away.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Again, I'm Penny McCarroll from RE/MAX Twin City with the Kitchener-Waterloo Real Estate Group.
And I'm Tammy Norman.
We'll see you next week, maybe. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.